welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Sunday evening. Hope we're all okay. Hope we're all alright. Hope we've looked after ourselves and we enjoyed the F1 if you did watch, because I enjoyed the F1 myself. In this video though, we are talking a more creative, more brainstorming, more of a conversation video. Obviously not going live when I normally do at 7 PM. This will go up instead of that. In this video though, we're talking about 3 positions that I think Spurs need to work on this summer. You know, obviously now, seeing the summer as it is, we see the outgoings, we see the shape starting to be moulded into what Ange maybe wants to see of it, with still a lot more work to do there. I want to talk about 3 positions that I think Spurs need to work on. This does not include youth stars that are currently playing quite well in the preseason. I'm talking about just new incomings, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Just want to say that if you're watching this and you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. So position number 1 that I do want to talk about, ironically, is actually left back. The reason why I will talk about this is right now our starter at left back is potentially the best left back in the league at the moment, based on last season, in Destiny Udogie. Behind Destiny, there really isn't anything there. We've tried Mickey van der Ven there, which it is good, but I think has its limits. We've tried Emerson Royal there, which hasn't worked. We've tried Ben Davies there. The drop-off between Destiny to Ben is still not really good enough. So for me, that's why I think left-back needs to be upgraded this summer. We need a player who I believe is stylistically a little bit more similar to Destiny Udogie. Be there a situation where you have to rotate, or he misses game time, or you just want to just try someone else out and give Destiny a week off from football. You want to be able to kind of say, we can plug and play this guy in because stylistically, they're quite similar. We don't have to change our tactics. So for me, I look at the situation of Bradley Locker that we've been interested in, and a player who is someone that you could kind of say, actually, if we were to, not play Destiny for the next game, or he has to miss the next game, it could work with Bradley. The other name for me was Patrick Dorgu from Lecce. Patrick scored 2 goals this season. Obviously, I know Bradley has 3 assists this season, but for me, quite similar players to Destiny, and I quite like that idea of if Destiny's not going to play, this guy can come in. We're still going to do what we always do down that left wing. And this season with Son, you're going to have a different winger out there who's going to have that link up with a left back. Normally last season, you probably featured more Brennan Johnson or Timo Werner. There's a situation where Sonny may be that guy this season. So that's my first position. Again, these are in no order. And right now, I haven't really seen a left back other than Jamie Donnelly, who's not a left back, show what it is that we want at left back. We'll see how preseason goes with Jamie there anyway. We may not even need a left back, hopefully. My second position I want to talk about is actually right wing. Now, Brennan Johnson obviously out there and Kulusevski out there at the moment. Now, the reason why I bring this into a conversation is because I believe Kulusevski might be featured a lot more centrally this year. Giovanni Celso may move on. Højbjerg, obviously, we know has moved on today. Yes, we brought in Archie Gray, and yes, Bergvall has come in. But also, it's nice to have a bit more of a senior figure in that area, especially in the midfield where it's so crucial. So because of that, I'm taking this on a hypothetical situation that actually we do look at right wing. And at right wing, we've been linked to players that have been former Spurs players in Marcus Edwards. We've been linked to Premier League players like Eberechi Eze, who maybe isn't a right winger but could probably play there. Pedro Neto, obviously, we've been linked there. Hell, we even inquired into Jared Bowen earlier in the summer. But there's also that rogue shout. A man in Turin, a man that's been told he can leave his club, who are based in Turin, in Federico Chiesa. Having Chiesa, a Neto, or whoever on that list, I believe offers us something a little bit different that we don't have, which allowing Kulusevski to be a bit more central, which is what the player wants. Now, I've not been massively blown away by Kulusevski prior to this preseason in a central area, but so far this preseason, it's shown that maybe there is a future there. So if we take the idea that there is a future there, then we will have to move and get someone for that right wing. Now, you could go hugely marquee Eberechi Eze, but does he fit on the right wing? You can go just probably something similar in Pedro Neto, but is there injury concerns to worry about? You could bring the homeboy home, but you could bring the homegrown academy trained guy home in Marcus Edwards, but is he Premier League top 4 ready? Could you go for the Chiesa route of world beater on his day, potential injury concerns, large wages, but fee being quite reasonable when all things considered? the key thing with this situation, with maybe a Neto or Chiesa, whose stats maybe aren't the greatest, is obviously they no longer become the main man. They become part of a attacking team. They get a lot more one-on-one attention instead of having double-ups from defenders or midfielders. They'd probably get even more chances to contribute with assists and goals. So for me, those two for the right wing makes the most sense. It may be not the two players I think I would go for, but I believe those two players make the most sense. And thirdly, we could go here with right back. We could go this position with centre back. We could go central midfielder. We could go striker. For me, I will go for the latter. I will go for striker in the third key area. For me, the striker situation, if done correctly, will help defensively. And no, I don't mean corners. What I mean by that is with attacking fluidity, and I've said this multiple times, and if you've been following along with the YouTube lives or any pre-recorded videos I've said, if you're attacking 3, and we'll call it attacking 5 or 6 if you want to include a midfielder or 2 or a fullback or 2. If the fluidity is there, then actually you won't face as many counterattacks. Then you go, instead of facing, let's say instead of face 10 counterattacks, we might face 6. And then you're asking Mickey van der Ven or Romero or, a Basuma or a Bentancur, a Sarr, whoever, you don't have to do as much now. You would see our defensive stats improve immensely. A striker that can obviously link up, but a striker is a little bit different than what we have. Obviously, we have Sonny, the high press, deadly finisher that he is. We have Richarlison, who is a bit more of a physical striker, can play with his back to goal a bit better than Son can. You obviously got players obviously coming through the youth system, but we're not talking about them. That was part of the standout rules at the start. The situation is, do Spurs go massive on a Gyökeres for 84 million? Do they go something a tad bit cheaper, but still a lot on a Solanke or a Lois Openda? Do they go something just a tad bit cheaper on a Santiago Jimenez or Ivan Toney? Or do they go for the maybe potentially cheapest version of them all in Jonathan David? For me, the key thing in this is if you were to go the cheaper route with a Jonathan David or a Toney or Jimenez, and the goal contributions are only a fraction less than what you would get from maybe a Gyökeres, that would allow you to go and actually get a more rounded squad because you can save that money and spend and buy a left back and buy a right back or buy a centre back or whatever your decision would be in that. For me, that's the route that I would go. I wouldn't spend 84 million on one player, regardless that Gyökeres may be a really good player. It's not the right time for Spurs. And I get a few of you that you want that sexy marquee name, but for me, I'd much rather another left back. I'd much rather another right back, and I'd much rather Spurs to get a winger, because they've not gone out there and decided to go and buy the main guy there. And actually, maybe we get a guy who gives us 5 or 6 less goal contributions this season, but it's half the price. That way, I think you get more out of the squad. I'm interested to see what you think about that. Obviously, like I said, it is in no particular order. Please let me know your 3 positions and what you would look for in those positions and why. Let me know down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like the video if you did. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, in the video, I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.